I want to kick off the new year with the manifesting goal setting guide that will actually help you achieve your dreams this year. We're not meant to do life alone. It's bullshit. This is going to be your visualization for the future. And let me tell you, it was a game changer. Happy New Year, guys. Welcome back to the show. I am so glad that you're here, and I'm so excited for season 4 of the podcast. We are going to be back every Wednesday with a full episode and every Monday with a quick in case you missed it. And we are officially launching as a video podcast, so you can now watch all of these episodes on YouTube and Spotify. So very excited to be back and to be better than ever, and now on video. It is January 1st of 2025. I have no idea how that happened or where the time is going, but I want to kick off the new year with the manifesting goal setting guide that will actually help you achieve your dreams this year. And for me, every year I set SMART goals. I pick a mantra for the year. I bought into the power of manifesting because the science really is there. And now I do visualizations of what I want to achieve and how I want to show up and who I want to be. And I make a vision board that reflects that. And sometimes it's a physical one. Sometimes I make it in Canva. But this year I switched it up by using AI to help me really shape my goals and manifest my big picture dream life. And let me tell you, it was a game changer. And it all started with that viral trend that we saw last year of getting ChatGPT to write you a story of a day in your future dream life. And I'm sure you guys all saw that trending online. Maybe you've already tried it. I did it, and we're going to get into what my experience was like. But someone I know put it really well as to why this is such a great and effective method. By letting AI handle the logistics, you get to just dream and throw everything at the wall, see what sticks without all of the logistical blocks that we normally have to deal with when we're planning and dreaming what we want our lives to be. So you just get to be in the driver's seat of like, what do I want? And what's my biggest, craziest, scariest dream? And then AI can swoop in and do the logistics and the workbacks and the planning for you. So you can basically think of it as your own virtual assistant. And it's here to help you plan your best year yet in ways that you might not have even thought about, because it has, like an arm's length look at what you want and how you can get there and all the things that you need to do that you might not be doing now without that layer of doubt, limiting beliefs, and what ifs that often gets in our way. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty of the steps to make this happen and to make it really effective. So step 1 of manifesting with AI, brain dump your dream life. And this can be as detailed or as high level as you like. I know some people who have just done like a bullet list, high level. I want this for my career. I want this many kids. I want to live in this country. I got really detailed. It took me a long time to make this prompt. And I covered all aspects of where I want to live, how I want to live, what I want to do for work, my family and my home life, and all of the details surrounding that, what kind of a relationship that I want. I got really detailed about my career dreams, all of them, not just like the trajectory that I'm currently on, but every career dream I've ever wanted to have. I was really detailed about the partnership that I want to have with my future husband, the lifestyle we have in terms of like how much we travel, where we live, how we eat, how much we host our friends and family, like community events that we do, how active we are. So I really spent a lot of time dreaming of what would my ideal future be. And I probably have never done it in such detail before. It was really moving, to be honest, to actually let myself dream with no filters and no limiting beliefs and write it all down and map out all the key areas of my life that I actually really care about and how I want them to look 5 or 10 years from now. So get really honest. Don't filter yourself. Don't self-reject. Just spill everything you can think of. The more detail I think you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. And then step 2, you're going to use ChatGPT or Claude. I used Claude. And you're going to type in, tell me a story of a day in my dream life as my future self who already has it all based on the following description. And then you're going to copy below that brain dump that you just did of your dream life. And it's going to tell you an honestly, surprisingly poetic story of a day in your future life. I was like really taken aback by the prose and the detail that they put in this dreamy, beautiful day in your life. And it's just going to give you one day. So you can also iterate on this to get a full picture of what your life could really look like. So for me, the first response was a Saturday or a Sunday. And it was, it's pretty easy to have a nice, dreamy Saturday or Sunday. So I asked Claude to show me another day during the work week. And I ultimately, at the end of this whole exercise, got the story of 3 different days as my future self, one in Canada, one in California. And then for the last iteration, I asked it to walk me through a specific schedule of what an ideal workday would look like in my dream life. And I got an hour by hour breakdown from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. And I loved having all 3 of those iterations because I did want to see what my life looks like, in the summers in Canada, and what it could look like working from California, and, what a weekend is, what a weekday is. It can be really different depending on where you're at in the week or in the year of your dream life. So I just kept iterating till I saw a full picture of what I could have. Now, step 3 is you're going to reflect on all of this. You're going to read through and let it sink in and notice how it makes you feel, because a lot of shit might come up during this process. So you can journal on it. You can talk to your friends about it. A group of my friends all sat together, did the prompt, and then we shared and read out loud the response that we got from Claude. And it was like awkward and emotional, but also really beautiful to like witness my friends' dream lives and to see how they're already on that path, to see what they still need to do to get there, to see what they're already doing, to see what they really value and what they want to bring into their futures. Sharing it with people is really, really powerful. So I do recommend doing that. And then see what comes up for you, because I actually had a really freaking weird reaction at first. I felt really uncomfortable. It felt so cheesy and so like embarrassing and silly. And I don't know, just seeing this like really descriptive scene of a day in the life of my future in this like really poetic prose, it just, I don't know, it felt, I was embarrassed. Like I had the cringe for myself. And I'm going to be really vulnerable and give you a sense of like what some of those sections of the story that Claude told me made me feel silly and and cringy, and you will see why. For example, as you open your eyes to the warm California sun streaming through your bedroom window, you feel a sense of contentment wash over you. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and the day ahead is filled with promise. Your children burst in, full of energy and excitement for the day ahead. Your daughter shows you a drawing she made, while your son regales you with tales of the dream he had last night. I mean, that's like really sweet. There's nothing wrong with that, but just the way it was described made me recoil. Here's another example. As the day cools, you and your husband take the boat out on the lake. You discuss ideas for your next TV show pilot that you want to write. His insights are invaluable, and you're reminded once again of what a great team you make. Even now, as I'm reading this, it feels a little embarrassing, but I dug into why did I feel so uncomfortable with what I got back from these prompts. And there was actually a huge learning there. I realized I felt uncomfortable because I didn't actually believe that all of this was possible for me. So I had this defense mechanism up of that's dumb, that's not possible. Like ChatGPT's silly. There's, it clearly doesn't know me, but it's just giving me all the things I said I wanted back to me. And then I'm being like, ugh, what a silly recommendation it made. So it actually just showed me it's uncomfortable and confronting to have something reflected back to you as your future or as a possibility for you if you don't believe it's possible. And that was really powerful for me because it's challenged me to look at like, what do I actually believe I can have? And how am I holding myself back if I don't believe I can have these things? So having that beautiful partnership with a husband who I can creatively collaborate with, who gives me really thoughtful feedback and is like so invested in my career, and who I can, rally ideas back and forth with. I want that. I put that into my prompt as something that is important to me in a relationship. So why is it so uncomfortable? Why does it seem so silly to read it when they include that in a story? I want to have a beautiful relationship with my children and nurture their curiosity and share, these beautiful day-to-day moments with them. And yet all the little storytelling they did about like how I'm interacting with my children, I was like, oh my God, this is so cringe. So I think the work that I realized I have to do is a lot about believing that all of these things are possible. And as soon as I realized that, I read through it again and it was really emotional. It wasn't uncomfortable anymore. I actually just let myself sink into this is a life I could have and it seems really beautiful. And it seems incredible that I don't have to choose between career or family or kids or living here or living there. There is a possibility in which I get to have all the things I want. And then I got really emotional about it as soon as I got over the cringe. And then I got excited. Like, how can I make this happen? This is actually all possible. And the way AI broke it all down made it clear to me that if I get the right systems in place, if I'm disciplined, if my priorities are right, I could have all of these things in my dream life. And then excitement took over and like planning mode took over of like, okay, what do I need to do? So part of this reflection process that you should do is, what is this showing me? What does this story and my reaction to it, what is it showing me? And there was a lot of takeaways I had. I have been feeling all of this pressure of I need to choose where I want to live, and I need to like settle down somewhere permanently and stop going back and forth, stop traveling so much. I don't even think that's what I want. I think that's just what people are telling me. And in this story that ChatGPT told me, it made so much sense how I could live a bicoastal life. I don't need to be forced to choose. I could absolutely break my life into seasons and, work with like the school year and the summers, and living in two places is possible for me. And I loved seeing that unfold in this story. Probably the biggest takeaway from this exercise for me was how many times the word team came up. I think I did like a Command F search and looked at how many times. Every other sentence was like, you meet with your team, you meet with your podcast team and your media team and your book agent team. And there were teams involved in every single thing I did throughout the day. And that's been something I've been grappling with as a solo entrepreneur, realizing that it is time, in order to scale and in order to achieve my dreams, it's time to build a team and to invest in a team. And it makes me a bit uncomfortable because I don't really love managing people. It scares me. I just want to make my thing by myself, but that is also holding me back. So it was already on my mind that it's time that I surround myself with the right people and build a great team. And seeing it reflected back in these prompts, the only way I can achieve the things I want to achieve is if I start building the right team. That was huge for me. I couldn't even ignore it. Like, all of this is possible if you stop trying to do everything on your own. And that was reflected in the family component too. It really takes a village. And throughout all the different stories and iterations of my future life that AI spat out, there was always friends and family and people around. And, my kids and their grandma are like getting a head start on dinner while I finish a meeting and then I come down and join them. Like, we're not meant to do life alone. And I think I've really subscribed to this lone wolf. I can do it all. I can do it by myself. I don't need to rely on anyone. And it's bullshit. And I knew that in my heart, but this exercise really showed me the gaps that I currently have, and that it's okay to need help. And it should take a village. We should be surrounding ourselves with people who can help us on our journey, either career-wise or with our families. And I'm excited to prioritize that more this year and to move away from that mindset of I need to figure this all out alone. So the last thing you should definitely reflect or journal on is, what is this AI prompt showing me? And step 4, you're going to get really honest and figure out, how am I not showing up as this future person right now? I've seen how future me lives. I'm seeing what she's doing. It's very fucking impressive. It's very cool. I want to be her. I'm very excited to be her. What am I doing now that's not aligned with how she's living? So again, it came back for me to that team. It is time to hire and move away from this one man wolf pack, one woman wolf pack mentality. So investing in getting the right support and the right people around me, that is the only way to become this future me that I want to be. Giving back more. Also, a lot of how I was spending my time in these future stories from AI was running workshops or mentoring people, or helping people with their scripts and their proposals and launch their podcasts. And I know that giving back and supporting community and helping affect positive change, these are all important values to me, but I'm not doing them enough right now. It's like this thing I know that I want to do, and I'm taking no steps towards that. So seeing how much future me is prioritizing that really showed how current me needs to start getting into those spaces of volunteering more, offering more mentorship, just giving back with the things that I have learned and discovered and the gifts that I have, and trying to share them more. So that was huge. And then discipline. I mean, oh my God, future me is getting up hours before current me gets up. And I'm not saying I'm going to be a morning person. In fact, I actually, first iteration of the schedule that ChatGPT made me, it had me getting up at 6. And anyone who knows me knows hell will freeze over before I choose to get up at 6. So I prompted it to make my day start at 8. We'll see if that's possible once I have children. But as of now, 8 a.m. feels much more comfy and cozy. So it redid my schedule to start the day at 8, which is great. But point being, every hour of my day was accounted for in this schedule of my future life. And, that's nice. It's not always possible. Sometimes we have shit to do. Sometimes we just need to sit on our bed in a towel and look into the distance for half an hour and be like, what the fuck? But right now, I'm wasting a lot of time. I'm opening up Instagram or TikTok to do something for work. And then an hour later, I'm like, oh no, what have I done? I just wasted a whole hour scrolling. I did not need to be doing that. I am not always being intentional about how I use my time. It's great to watch movies and TV shows, especially because that's something I'd like to do in my career and my future is be involved in TV and be a screenwriter. But I'm not always watching shows with that intention of I want to be creatively inspired. I want to study these different shows. I'm just putting on like mind numbing shit. And again, that's fine if sometimes you need a bit of escapism, but I don't think I'm being intentional enough. And I feel stretched too thin currently. I feel burnt out. I don't feel like I can take on any more work. And then when I actually examine how I'm spending my free time and my time in general, I'm like, well, I am wasting a lot of time. So that's actually not true. I could be much more effective. And seeing how future me is scheduling her time was really inspiring. And I'm going to take that schedule and really examine how I'm spending my time, how I'm time blocking. Am I being smart about how I get in flow and batch my tasks? And whatever you discover in terms of what future you is doing, just see if there's something that you can take and apply it to how you're structuring your days and your time now, because there probably is. And then step 5, we're going to use this future you dream life storytelling to set your 2025 goals and habits. And again, we're going to outsource this to AI because we're not working harder, we are working smarter, and we are using AI, and it's going to make our lives easier. So you're going to go back into that Claude or ChatGPT prompt that you started, and you're going to write, what should I be doing daily right now to help this dream future life become a reality? Create a daily schedule for me to follow right now that will allow me to achieve this life in the next 5 years or 10 years or whatever you want it to be. For me, I said 5 years. You're then going to get a step-by-step plan and all of these ideas from AI to help make this dream a reality. And it gave me a specific schedule for how to plan my workday, which was really helpful to see because I put in a lot of career goals into my dream life. And it really showed me how I can tackle so many of them, even if they're not all aligned and they're all different projects. Like, it gave me such a great schedule for my workday. And then it also broke down the key categories and the daily actions that I need to engage in every single day to build this life that I want. So yours are obviously going to be different than mine, but as an example, writing and content creation was one key category of something I need to nurture daily. Write for 1 or 2 hours every day, start a newsletter or a social channel to build an audience for your writing. Then there was a personal development category. Listen to relevant podcasts every day, network with 2 or 3 industry contacts every week. There was health and wellness, exercise 30 to 45 minutes every day, mix of cardio and strength, cook healthy meals and meal prep every week, and maintain a consistent sleep schedule, which is wild because that, even before I did all of this, those 3 goals were my health goals that I'd already set for 2025 by doing my year-end audit episode. So when I was focusing on health and wellness and how that's something I really want to hone in on and prioritize this year, because, oh my God, as we get older, our health is everything. Like, nothing else matters if you are struggling with your health. So I definitely want to take it more seriously. And those were my 3 goals. And AI agrees. Exercise, healthy meals, maintaining a sleep schedule. Obviously, not rocket science, but for me, these are areas that are really important for me going into 2025. And then relationships was another really key thing that I put into my original prompt, because someone who's experienced a lot of loneliness and been alone a lot and been on a journey to find my people. Now that I've been finding my people, oh my God, my life is so much better. And we need to put effort into relationships in our lives. So AI told me host monthly dinners for friends or for the community that I want to be building, call family members regularly to maintain bonds. Absolutely agreed. And then weekly date night. So if I had a partner, it would make sense. We would be doing a weekly date night to maintain it and to not just like fall into a rut of coexisting without making memories together and without prioritizing each other. I don't. So I'm taking this as a goal to connect with a potential person every week, whether that's a conversation, whether it's an actual date. But, I'm not going to meet people from my couch. And yet here I am, always on my couch being like, why aren't I meeting people? So we now have a goal for that. And that relationship section also really showed me who I'm being now versus who I want to be. Because who I want to be is someone who builds and cultivates strong communities around me, brings people together, helps like change the state of loneliness that I feel so many young people are experiencing right now, and old people, all people experiencing lots of isolation, lots of loneliness. So these relationships and communities, they're such a huge part of my mission of what I want to do with my life. And yet, especially when I come back to Toronto, I feel like I spend most of my time alone. I don't put that much effort into like rekindling old friendships or getting out there and starting new ones or going to community events. So there's this huge gap between what I want and who I want to be and how I'm currently behaving. So hosting those community events, putting myself out there, meeting people, that's going to be a huge goal for me this year because I need to start taking those steps to get to that person that I want to be, who's just surrounded by an amazing community. And then the last category for me was financial planning. So AI told me to save 20 to 30% of my income for future investments. We will see about that, but it's good to have a goal. Build multiple income streams. Agreed. And I really worked on that in 2024. And I'm really excited about the progress I made to have multiple steady income streams and to know which ones I'm living off of, to know which ones I'm investing back into a business, and to know which ones I'm investing in, future savings. And then the third was create a business plan for your media company. So that's pretty vague. I'm going to have to get more specific and drill down on that. But those are all really great categories and goals and things that AI is prompting me to examine every day this year as much as I can. I think if you were to tackle all of these things, it would be really overwhelming. And I'm not going to try to do that. That's like 15 things in addition to just everyday life to like worry about every day. I'm not going to be able to do that. So I recommend taking that list and starting with one action item per category. So one relationship goal, one health and wellness goal, one finance goal, and really integrate that into your life before you move on to the next one. Otherwise, it's so daunting. So you could approach it month by month. I often like to do that. I'll be like, okay, I'm honing in on this month. As soon as it feels natural to me, next month, I will introduce the next goal. So I think that's a great way to go about it. Also, a lot of these action items that AI spat out were already solid goals in terms of being specific and measurable, like work out 30 minutes daily, network with 2 to 3 new contacts every week. Very clear, very measurable. We love that. But for any of the action items they give you that are vague, the way we're going to turn this into our 2025 goals is we are going to make them SMART goals. And you can do that yourself, or you can get AI to do the work for you. So you can add a follow-up prompt into AI saying, copy and paste that action item list that I gave you and say, turn all of these items into SMART goals that I can follow for 2025. We've done an entire episode around SMART goals, but just remember they should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So for example, launch a viral YouTube channel in 2025. That is a bullshit goal. That's not a good goal. Instead, that could look like build a presence on YouTube by posting 3 videos every week, spend 1 hour weekly engaging in YouTube and following YouTube best practices, take an SEO course to optimize my channel, and aim for my first 500 subscribers by Q3. So it's nice to have like a number goal that we're working towards and, a bit of a North Star, but I try to make that just one small piece of the whole goal, because sometimes you can't control what the result is going to be, but you can control the actions you will take to get there. So if I am consistent, if I follow every other part of that goal in terms of the best practices, the SEO, the consistent posting, then that will allow me to hit that subscriber goal. but don't make the subscribers your entire goal. Don't make the financial piece the entire goal. Make the habits that you're going to take the goal, because you get to control that. And those are all the steps. And I really recommend that you revisit your dream life story regularly. Put it in a nice document or in your note app or somewhere that you can see it often, print it out, because this is going to be your visualization for the future. And it's even more powerful, actually, if you read it out in first person as though you've already achieved it. So you can rewrite it in first person and take out any bits that don't resonate. That's what I did, because it's like it's filling in some gaps that might not be true. It was taking some creative liberties. It was saying some shit. It was like, at the end of the night, your family gathers around the bonfire and your brother-in-law serenades you all on the guitar. I'm like, yeah, I love my brother-in-law, but that man is not going to serenade us on a guitar anytime soon. And it just made me like not take it seriously. Like the whole thing, I was like, this is bullshit. So as soon as I edited out all the pieces that I was like, nope, that's not me, then it felt real. And that's when I think I got like emotional and started to connect with this future me story. So tailor it to you. And then I do recommend switching it to like an I story. Like, I get up at this time, my children do this, my business does this, because it makes it real. It feels like you've already achieved it. It feels like you're reading your own diary entry from the future of everything you've achieved. And that's so powerful. And that is going to be your why all year. When you have this list of goals and you don't feel like doing them, and you're like, I just want to break. I'm done with this. Why am I even bothering right now? And you're not seeing the incremental progress. You're just seeing that you're not exactly where you want to be. Go back, read this. This is your why. It's going to keep you going. And I know, that AI feels like freaky or threatening to some people, but honestly, it can be a really helpful tool for just helping us get out of our own way and plan and schedule and sort out the logistics so that we can focus on the dreaming and the executing and the shit that only we as humans can do. So don't be afraid to lean on AI to help you figure out these goals, to help you manifest, to help you, future cast these stories that you want to follow of the person that you want to be. This has been such a powerful exercise for me in creating a roadmap to the unfiltered life that I want. If I really went for everything that I wanted without any blocks or barriers. And it's allowed me to manifest this future that feels possible. And it's helped me find the gaps that I currently have for getting there and set goals this year in 2025 that will ladder up to that future life that I want. I really hope this helps you guys plan an incredible year. Please let me know if you try this. I want to hear what your experiences are with this prompt. I love seeing people post on social about their reactions or what they learned from these AI prompts. And as always, you can hit me up on social at Teach Me How to Adult Media and share with me how this prompt and this exercise went for you, or slide into my DMs with any topics or ideas that you have for things that you need a bit of help with or support with, or you want to hear more about this year. I am so excited for 2025, you guys, and I just have a really good feeling about it. I think we're going to fucking crush it. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. You got this.